So, Stranger Things.
Team Steve or Team Jonathan?
You know, that's a really great question. I do think, though, that we should be asking a different question.
Is it love or infatuation?
Okay, so you're gonna wanna stick around for this video because we're gonna dive into just the differences between love and infatuation, and we're gonna use some of your favorite TV show, couples, movie, romances to kind of dive into it and figure out what the differences are. Okay, so both include a lot of feelings, okay? But infatuation is literally just feelings, like how someone makes you feel, maybe a little bit of how you feel about them, but like just the highs and lows of those intense emotions. Whereas love is something that's a lot deeper. Yes, there are feelings and emotions involved, but it's really more about a deeper emotional connection and like building trust and respect and like shared values and stuff like that. So it's a lot deeper. But next we're actually going to give you 5 things to actually tell the difference between the two because it can be a little confusing. So Tabby, what's the first difference?
So love is lasting, which means it's going to withstand like all the highs and lows that life is going to throw at you. Whereas infatuation is very temporary. It's kind of known as like the cupcakes and butterflies rainbow stage, you know, when you first start dating. It's very temporary and it only lasts in the beginning.
Number 2 is devotion versus emotion. Okay, so infatuation really focused on how someone makes you feel and kind of being in love with the idea of love. Whereas actual love is about devotion. So being devoted to someone, even if you don't feel super romantic or lovey-dovey every single day, because let's be realistic here, our brains can't even handle those super lovey-dovey emotions 24/7. That's not how it works.
Right.
So there's gonna be a time where like those intense feelings fade away. Are you actually devoted to this person? Who knows? Okay, what's number 2? Number 3.
So number 3 is feeling of security versus feelings of uncertainty. So you're going to feel secure in your relationship when you're in love with that person because it has stood the test of time and it's built that good foundation of trust. Whereas when you're infatuated with someone, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty and maybe feelings of jealousy and whatnot because it's more built on emotions and how that person makes you feel and how much fun you might have together.
Number 4 is pretty straightforward. When you love someone, you accept their imperfections. When you're infatuated with someone, you see them as perfect. So we're all humans, we all have flaws. When you love someone, you accept those flaws and you move forward. Whereas when you're infatuated with someone, you might justify the red flags that you see in them, or you just completely ignore their flaws because you literally think they're perfect for you.
That's a red flag right there.
Right.
So our last one, we've already kind of mentioned it and touched a little bit on it, but obviously love is based on meaningful connections. So like, do you guys have common interests? Can you build a life together looking towards the future? Whereas infatuation is based a lot of times on just physical attraction, emotions, attention, compliments, those sort of things that aren't really building a foundation, but more getting you a feeling.
Exactly. And those things aren't bad, but
Right.
You literally cannot build a life on compliments and physical attractions. You build a life on trust and having things in common and like pushing each other to be a better human. That's what love is.
Aww.
Now the moment we've all been waiting for. We're going to get into 4 shows. We're going to break down, are these couples in love or in infatuation?
Right, so we've got Outer Banks, we've got Stranger Things, we've got Spider-Man, the Tom Holland one,
Of course.
and we've also got Riverdale. Okay, Kayla, give me Outer Banks Season 2.
Ooh, okay. Season 2. Obviously, there's a lot of romance that happened in Season 1, but we're going to stick to Season 2 with John B. and Sarah Cannon, the classic main couple, okay? So there's this one point in Season 2 where they get married, okay, with a bandana, no rings, bandanas, whatever. It's super cute, kind of. In the moment, we love to see it, right? Okay, fast forward a few episodes, they get into a fight. They don't trust each other. They're upset. They're not like being there for each other. And Sarah gives back the bandana. She's like, here, take it. I can't like do this anymore.
Right.
So what we're seeing here is they make this commitment that they actually can't keep.
Right.
Okay.
It was not like based on devotion to each other like love would be. But it's more based on, you know, well, I'm not very happy with you right now. So here's your bandana.
Exactly.
We're not married anymore.
Like that devotion versus emotion. That was a very high emotions moment, both when they like decided to get married and when she threw in the towel. It was all based in emotions instead of devoting themselves to each other. So
was it love or was it infatuation?
definitely giving infatuation. Sorry, John B.
Sorry, John B. We love you, but
I guess it was Sarah's fault, though, not John B's fault.
Yeah, it kind of was. Oops.
Well, at both of them. Okay. All right, so we have 1 point infatuation, 0 for love so far.
Oh.
Tragic. Okay, but let's go for round 2. Tabby, let's hear it for Riverdale.
Okay, so Betty and Jughead start out as friends, and they start building this relationship on like mutual interest. They're working at the paper together. They're solving these mysteries and really like building up this devotion to each other. And then also like Betty's opening up about some pretty crazy stuff that's happening in her life, some of her imperfections and flaws, and Jughead's still sticking around. So they really started out their relationship as friends with that great foundation, and then eventually emotions came into it and they entered into a relationship.
So I'm hearing devotion and accepting each other's flaws and imperfections. So what's the conclusion here, Tabby?
I think it's giving love.
Absolutely.
Round 3. Give me Spider-Man.
First of all, we love Peter Parker and MJ, okay? The reality is their relationship like happens over time. Like it's a slow buildup. They have this friendship and connection beforehand. Peter is very thoughtful when he like first makes a move and like gives her this thoughtful gift, whatever. We love to see it, okay? But we're gonna fast forward all the way to like the last movie with them. So No Way Home. I'm gonna try my best not to give any spoilers, but basically at the very end of the, but also if you haven't seen it, what are you doing?
Honestly, at this point,
okay.
just
anyway, but
don't even worry about it.
Okay, back to it though. At the very end of the movie, Peter makes this super, super difficult decision to protect MJ, to protect her future, to protect her emotions, for her safety. And it's at a huge like sacrifice of Peter's own emotions. So basically, he is like making a sacrifice and putting what's best for MJ like before what he feels in that moment. Because, he loves.
They're in love.
Yes, it's giving love for sure. So our current score, 2 for love, 1 for infatuation. Let's see what this final round is going to be. Actually, I know what it's going to be. It's going to be Stranger Things, but give me season 1, please. I know everyone's been binging season 4, but we're going to take it back.
To the beginning.
To the beginning. Let's hear it, Tabby.
With Nancy and Steve when they were together.
Okay.
So let's talk about season 1, Nancy and Steve. It really starts out with their relationship just based on like this physical attraction and these like hot and heavy feelings and emotions. And as soon as the first little like blip comes in their relationship, Steve doesn't even talk to Nancy and just like drops her and they break up. There was no communication, there was no devotion, there was no like lasting commitment and feelings there. So it was really giving infatuation.
I think that was maybe one of the easiest ones to decide on.
Yeah.
Infatuation it is. If you have some other couples, maybe your favorite TV show, your favorite movie couple that you want to discuss, leave it in the comments. Let us know what you think. Is it love or infatuation?
Or even if you disagree with some of ours, let us know if you think that John B and Sarah, like maybe they're actually in love.
So I personally enjoyed kind of picking some favorite TV show couples and diving into if it's love or infatuation. But some of you are probably wondering like, okay, so what? What's the point? Why do I need to know the difference between love and infatuation?
Infatuation is not a bad thing.
That's true.
It's actually how most relationships like start out, that there is that initial stage of infatuation. But when those intense emotions and feelings fade away, there needs to be that solid foundation and love right there.
Yeah, so those feelings go away and it's going to reveal what's at the base, what's at the foundation of your relationship. Hopefully it's love, but you might find out that it's not. And something else to really point out too is you do not want to make choices with someone thinking that you're in love and committed, but turns out it's actually just infatuation. So like that example with John B and Sarah, they make a commitment of marriage to each other when they're actually not ready for that commitment. And so obviously that caused a lot of heartache, a lot of difficult things that they had to work through in that relationship because they made that choice out of infatuation, intense feelings, instead of actually thinking about it, thinking about that commitment. So that is really important to think about when it comes to commitment, promises you make with someone, when you decide to go further with someone physically, like are you doing it out of infatuation and feelings or because you're actually committed to this person? That's going to really affect you, your mental health, your relationships down the road if you're making all your choices out of infatuation instead of love. So I know that got a little serious for a second, but there's your actual relationship advice for the video.
Right. And if you liked it, like if you liked what we were saying, or it made you think about your relationship, or maybe some of your past relationships, go ahead and give us a like, maybe even subscribe, follow us on our other social media platforms, and tune in next time.
We'll see you later.